Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video we are taking a look at some incredible spice for you guys. We are taking a look at XL level 50 TEPIG in the Great League Remix Cup. Now this is a Pokemon I wasn't originally planning to make, but over the weekend at GoFest I ended up getting a lucky 100 IV TEPIG in a trade, so you know I had to max it out and try it, right? So I decided to run a double fire strategy, so we have Kanto, Ninetales, and TEPIG in the back with Jellicent on the lead. And so without further ado, let's hop into these matches and let's take a look at the team in action. Right, hopping into the first match here, picking up a really nice lead in Shadow Machamp. We are, of course, double resisting the fighting type moves. They're going to safe swap into Berserker, and in comes our TEPIG. Now, TEPIG is doing pretty well here. We are doing a ton of damage with the Embers, and we'll be able to get a shield with the Flame Charge. Unfortunately, we were a little slow on the swap, so Berserker will be able to get off back-to-back close combats. And since I had really good alignment up front, I fully intend on double shielding the TEPIG and farming down. Close combat, that's fine, and we're able to maintain switch advantage. Now my guess is we're probably going to see that Shadow Machamp come back in. I'm only going to get to the body slam, so I am going to throw it. Let's see how much damage this does to the Shadow Machamp. Honestly, does quite a bit of damage. Okay, TEPIG, I see you. And they have a Dugong in the back, so things are looking fantastic for us. They were double weak to Jellicent. We're able to get the shield, so we're in a very comfortable position to close out this match. We get the shield. We're willing to let the Icy Wind go through, and now we bring in the Kanto Ninetales. We are only hitting for neutral here, but Kanto Ninetales does hit pretty hard, so the Fire Spin Weather Ball combination is really going to start to add up. This should be the Water Pulse, and we can survive this. Water Pulse is a deeply terrible move. That is totally fine. We're just going to farm up as much as possible. They do a really nice snipe. So a fabulous play there by my opponent, recognizing I was over farming and aggressively switching in to deny me all that energy. Unfortunately, I still have a very healthy Jellicent in the back, and Dugong just has no way to take out a Jellicent at this health, so we're able to Shadow Ball and take the win in Game 1. So the double fire squad with XL TEPIG off to a great start, hopping to the next match, and an amazing lead again in Registeel. Even though this is a pretty positive lead, I have two pretty good responses to Registeel in the back, so I may want to trade charge moves before I save swap out to see if they do have any responses to fire types in the back. Shadow Ball, and now we're going to save swap into the TEPIG, see what they have. They bring out a Shadow Machamp. Oh no, our poor TEPIG is not going to enjoy this. We're able to land the Body Slam though. That is very nice. We're able to land the Body Slam, and if this is their best response to a fire type, then we should be pretty good with our fire type in the back. So we're going to bring in the Jellicent. I believe they're just short of a Rock Slide, so I decided to call it. It is the Cross Chop. My counting was correct, and we're able to farm down. And they have a Mandibuzz in the back, so things are looking very rough for us here. We're going to Bubble Beam, bring in our Ninetales, and now they bring back the Registeel. I need to overfarm as much as possible, but I really don't want to have to use the shield here. So we're going to go for the Weather Ball and take them out. And now the main goal is I need to use these shields on the first two moves they throw and hopefully stall out the clock long enough where I can Bubble Beam them again so their future charge moves will do less. So we're going to start shielding up, and they're running Dark Pulse, so that does end up hitting pretty hard on us, which is not great. We do sneak a Fire Spin through. That is very, very nice. We're going to shield up the Dark Pulse again. And as you can see, our switch clock is almost up. So I am going to be going for the Weather Ball here. We get the shield, and now we bring out the Jellicent, and we're going straight for the Bubble Beam. We are just going to try and debuff them as much as possible. And they're going to have a pretty tough time trying to farm us down here. We're able to get to another Bubble Beam. That's absolutely huge. Bubble Beam comes through, and it's a CMP tie. That is massive for us. So we're definitely fine with them taking us out here. That's a lot better than farming us down. We bring in the Ninetales. They're going to throw, but they're double debuffed. So even though they have a decent amount of energy, Dark Pulse is just really not doing a lot after we're able to double debuff it. And now we're able to go for the Weather Ball, and Weather Ball plus 2 Fire Spins, able to take them out and get the win. So backline Mandibuzz, pretty tough for this line, but we were able to clutch it out and get the win. All right, Jellicent into Lapras, amazing lead for us. This is absolutely fantastic. All charge moves and fast moves from the Lapras are going to be resisted, so we're in a really comfortable position here. Going straight for the Shadow Ball. That does massive damage. They'll be going for the Surf. Honestly, that's fine. Not too worried about that. And they bring in a Shadow Machamp. I don't have a great response to a Shadow Machamp, so my thinking is I'll go for the Bubble Beam here, and then I'll bring in the Ninetales. And since we've lowered the attack, hopefully we should be in an okay position. Ooh, very nice bait. They decided to bait with the cross chop there. I was a little worried about the rock slide, so a very nice bait there by the opponent. And they're actually going to let themselves go down. So very interesting play there. And they're more than likely coming back in with the Lapras. But we're on our 3 cycle, so they actually get to their Surf at the same time that we get to the Weather Ball. So we're able to force a Shield, which is fantastic. And now they overfarm by 2, and then they're going to throw the Surf, which will more than likely be taking us out. Yep, it does. That's fine. We've Jellicent in the back. They have Frostlass, and we have Tepig. It's Tepig time, boys. Let's go. We have it aligned with the Ice type. They bait us with an Avalanche, though. Oh, no. We're going to be going straight for this Flame Charge, buffing our attack, or just taking them out. They choose not to shield, which works for us. Lapras overfarmed by just a little bit, but the Lapras is just too low. Even with the shield, they're not going to be able to take out the Jellicent, as we're able to Hex down and take the win. That is 3 wins in a row with the Tepig squad. You love to see it. All right, Shadow Golbat lead. This lead is pretty good for us, but it's very bait dependent. If Golbat is able to land the Shadow Ball, then we are in a lot of trouble. We go for our own Shadow Ball. We get the shield. And now, tough call to make. Are they baiting? We shield up. Oh, and they baited. That's really not great for us. And here, this is probably going to be the Shadow Ball, I would imagine. It is. Okay. Now, I'm going to have to bait here if I want to outpace them to their next Shadow Ball. So we're going to go for the bait. We get the shield. That's fantastic. And now they're actually going to switch out into a Celio. So very cool pick. I do really need to chip this, so we're going to land the Shadow Ball and bring in the Kanto Ninetales. Weather Ball, it doesn't quite take them out. Celio has a nice amount of bulk to it, so Weather Ball, they're going to live that. And worst they could throw at us, I believe, is a Water Pulse, which again won't kill us. Water Pulse is a terrible move. We're able to farm down, which is really nice, and we do have a decent amount of energy here. So let's see if that Golbat does come back in. The Golbat does have stored energy, and they throw. Okay, this Poison Fang probably takes us out from here. It is the Shadow Golbat, of course. And now, bit of a tricky position. We are going to bring in the Jellicent here and just go straight for the Bubble Beam, because honestly, Bubble Beam does a decent amount to Shadow Golbat, and I just need to get this into farm down range for the Tepig. They throw. That's perfect. I don't have any shield, so I let this go. And now I bring in the Tepig to farm down. Come on, Tepig. Okay, we're able to farm down. What's in back? And it's in a Escavalier in the back. Yes, go Tepig. And Tepig is going to absolutely sauce this Escavalier. Get him out of here. Good game. That is 4 games in a row. You love to see it. Hopping to the 5th one. Can we pull off a 5-0 with Tepig? Well, we have a pretty good lead here in B-Drill. They will outpace us. They will get to the Drill Run before we get to our Shadow Ball. Drill Run doesn't do a lot, though, so we're going to call it. And they actually bait with a Fell Stinger. Oh, no. Incredibly risky bait. But since I could have tanked the Drill Run anyway, I decided to let that go. And now we're going to save swap into one of our Fire types to try and bait out any response they do have to a Fire type Pokemon. They go for the Drill Run there, and now they're going to bring in a Hypno. So again, they don't have a hard check to a Fire type, so hopefully Tepig should be in a pretty good position to close this out endgame. We are just going to spam out these Weather Balls. That's one nice thing about Kanto Ninetales. Incredibly spammy. We're able to output a ton of damage. At this point, it's not really worth preserving because we could get Confusion down, so I'm just going to let that go, and we just can't get to that Weather Ball. That is definitely unfortunate. I'm thinking they're probably double punch, so I'm going to bring this in, and it's just a Thunder Punch. Okay, that's fine with us. Going to try and farm down. Oh, and we're able to farm down. That's absolutely huge. They have a Dugong in the back. Things are looking really, really good for the Tepig. I want to stay in here and force them to throw, and they're actually opting not to throw quite yet. So I am going to be going for another Shadow Ball. We get the shield, and it's CMP. This is perfect. We let this go, and then it's Tepig time. All right, here we go. Come on, Tepig. Can you clinch the 5-0 for us? This should be an Icy Wind, I believe. We are able to call that. Even a resisted Icy Wind does so much damage. My goodness. And we're up to 2 Body Slams. I'm hoping 1 Body Slam will KO. But TEPIG really doesn't do a lot, but we're able to farm down. They bring in the Beedrill, we're able to get to the Flame Charge, and yes, that is a 5-0 with XL level 50 TEPIG in the Great League Remix Cup. You love to see it, as you can see the rewards from the 5-0. Picking up a really nice lead here in Shadow Nidoqueen. We do outpace it, so we are able to get to the Shadow Ball before they get to their Earth Power, which is really nice. We're able to get a shield, which is fantastic. And I decide to call the bait, and unfortunately, I get Earth Powered. They're going to save swap into Sableye, and I don't really have a good response to Sableye, so this isn't great for me. So I am going to go for the Bubble Beam to hopefully lower their attack and bring in the TEPIG. And since the attack is lowered, I should be able to survive a foul play here, so that is fine. And now we just need to get to the Flame Charge. Come on! And we lose CMP. That's super unfortunate. I do want to preserve alignment, so I am going to shield this up. And we're going to go for the Flame Charge to hopefully take out the Sableye. Alright, we're able to take out the Sableye, and they have a Kanto Ninetales of their own in the back. I am going to be going for the Body Slam here. This should be doing some nice neutral chip damage. Body Slam comes through. Oh, and we get the shield. That's very nice. I am worried about the Psyshock, so I'm going to bring in my own Ninetales, try and catch. I'm unable to catch, but they end up throwing anyway. So that is perfect for me, and it's the Psyshock. Even better. That's huge. Now, we should be in a pretty okay position here. So long as I farm up a decent amount of energy, I should be able to outpace the Nidoqueen whenever it decides to come in. So I am going to be going for the Psyshock. As you can see, I intentionally over-farmed by a Fire Spin there. So when they bring in the Nidoqueen, as there's a nice amount of lag there, we're able to outpace and get to the Psyshock, which is going to be taking out the Nidoqueen before we take a move. So we're able to take them out. That's huge. And, oh, their Ninetales gets to a move. Can we live a Psyshock here? This is going to be very close. We live it. We under-tap. We're able to get off the Weather Ball, and that is going to be enough to take them out and to give us the game. You love to see it. All right, hopping into the next match, we have Jellicent into Shiftry. This is a horrible lead for us. We are going to save swap into the TEPIG, and they bring out a Shadow Mawile. So this tells me that they may not have a good response to a fire type. If so, we are in a phenomenal position. They buff their attack, so I'm going to buff my attack in return because switch advantage is very important here. We're able to buff our attack, farm down, and look at TEPIG winning us switch, and they have a Dugong in the back. So Dugong probably would have been the better counter swap, but still, TEPIG can do fairly well against Dugong, especially if you're able to successfully call those Icy Wind baits. You can see TEPIG putting in some work here, and now we have switch advantage, so we're in a very comfortable position. With Jellicent, we're just farming up as much as possible. We even get a Hex through as they throw, which is huge. And now my main goal is when they bring in the Shiftry to just debuff it with the Bubble Beam, and then we should be in a pretty comfortable position. So we're going to debuff it with the Bubble Beam and now bring out the Kanto Ninetales, and my opponent sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Hopping into the next match here, picking up a really nice lead here in Probopass. They save swap Shadow Vic, so I bring in the TEPIG, and I'm going to try and farm down. And unfortunately, TEPIG does not do a lot of damage, so I'm forced to shield. Huge mistake by me right off the bat. I should have just thrown a move so I wasn't at a shield deficit. So they had a save swap Shadow Vic, and they had a Probopass that has Rock Throw. So now I know that this is a Grass Hole style team, which technically I should have good alignment for, but I'm down shields. And the downside with Probopass compared to Bastiodon is Probopass has access to Thunderbolt, which is going to make this match very, very tricky. We're able to debuff them, which is great, but again, I'm very worried about Thunderbolt. So we shield it up. It is the Thunderbolt, and they have a Shadow Grottle in the back. So as you can see, we have the alignment that we want, but due to a huge misplay early on, I'm at a shield deficit here, so this is going to make this game exceedingly tricky to try and find a win condition. They go for the Body Slam, and I'm going to be going straight for the Weather Ball. And at this point, as you can see, I'm undercharging because I'm recognizing they're probably going to let it go. I don't undercharge enough. Probopass is able to farm down. That's super unfortunate. A bunch of lag. I know that a Bubble Beam won't kill from here, so I decided to go for the Shadow Ball to try and secure the KO. They shield it up, and Unfortunately, they are able to get to a Thunderbolt to take me out. So that was a very winnable game based off alignment, but unfortunately, I tried to farm down with TEPIG. I got greedy, and shield disadvantage ended up costing me the match. Pretty nice lead here in Frostlass, because all three of our Pokemon do very well against Frostlass. We are going to need to shield this up in case it is the Shadow Ball, which it is. Very nice there, and now we're going to be going for the Bubble Beam bait. Can we get the shield? We get the shield, and now we're going to save swap into our Ninetales, and we bait out a Golbat. This is not your prototypical response to a fire type, so this is their best response to fire. We should be in a pretty comfortable position here. We're just going to let this go and hope it's just a Poison Fang, which it is. That's fantastic for us, and now we just need to get to the Psyshock, CMP, and even though our defense is lowered, we should still survive this Poison Fang. Yep, we do survive it, and now we get to throw the Psyshock. Psyshock's a pretty low damage move, but it is super effective, so that does quite a bit of damage there. And we're able to farm down and take Switch and Shield. This is massive for us. We're going to bring in the Jellicent, aggressive Switch in, and we're going to be able to get off this Shadow Ball. Goodbye, Frostlass. What is in the back? It's an Obstagoon. Oh no, we do have 3 Pokemon left, but Obstagoon is really, really rough for our Jellicent. On the bright side, this is his last Pokemon. He has no way of resetting these Bubble Beam debuffs, so we just need to lower his attack as much as possible. We're able to get off another Bubble Beam. This is absolutely massive for us. Bubble Beam there, that's fine, and he can just keep throwing. That's honestly works for me. We will save our shield for TEPIG and let TEPIG finish out this match for us. In comes the TEPIG. Nice little bit of lag there. You gotta love Niantic with the lag, and I'm gonna let the first one through. It's debuffed. Even debuffed, it still does a decent amount, and he gets the boost, so it's a really good thing that we didn't shield that first one. Oh my goodness. We are going to be shielding up the Night Slash and going straight for the Flame Charge. Will this be enough to take out the Goon? +1 Ember, and it is, and we're able to get the win. All right, hopping into the final match against a Charizard lead. Very good lead for us. They save swap into Dugong, and again, this is a really nice matchup for us, so I'm not too worried about switching out right away, especially because I can do a ton of damage to that Dugong and put us in a pretty comfortable position. I'm going to wait for them to debuff me. That's fine. And now in comes the TEPIG. Let's go, TEPIG. We're going to be going straight for the Body Slam. Body Slam won't KO. TEPIG is very low damage there. And even if they Water Pulse us, we should still survive. Water Pulse. Look at TEPIG. Just barely hanging on. You'll love to see it. Charizard comes back in. We're not able to get to another Body Slam. And now we really want to wait our clock here. So we're going to fully wait our clock. Unfortunately, we're still switch locked in, and they have a Ferrothorn. So we're going to be going for the Bubble Beam here, faking the Ice Beam, hoping to get a shield so we can burn our clock. We get the shield. In comes the Kanto Ninetales, and they end up conceding the match. So all in all, I had quite a bit of fun running XL level 50 TEPIG. It's super underpowered, so I definitely wouldn't recommend building one, but I had quite a bit of fun memeing on people with it, because I imagine it was very unexpected. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much, as always. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.